world's most profound aesthetic treatise. Composed by Bharat Muni, it stands as a civilizational text that harmonizes philosophy, psychology, ritual, and performance. Sarvashastrani Shilpani Karmani Vividhani cha Asmin Natye Sametani Tasmad Etan Maya Kritam. As Brahma revealed the Natya Veda, a strife arose between the Devas and the Asuras. Then addressing Virupaksha, Brahma declared, I have conceived the Natya, wherein all the knowledge, arts, and human action converge. Thus, in its essence, the Natyashastra unfolds a comprehensive vision of the arts, codifying the principles of drama, dance, and music, while embedding them with a larger metaphysical framework, at once a mirror of human experience and a pathway to transcendence. Its radiance lies in the union of thought and action, where abstract ideas breathe through gesture and voice. Its genius unfolds in uniting theory with praxis, as stagecraft and expression are continually renewed across the living continuum of India's manifold artistic lineages. Today, we reflect on its timeless relevance, exploring how this synthesis continues to shape culture, creativity, and spiritual inquiry. We have a very distinguished panel with us today, and let me quickly introduce these to you. But before that, I would request the Honorable Member Secretary of IGNCA, Dr. Sachidanand Joshi ji, to kindly felicitate all our panelists. May I request Ms. Akriti to. And taking this opportunity, I would like to inform the House that these stoles are kalamkari and the wooden boxes are from Saharanpur, part of the ABCD project of IGNCA, which is like a manifestation of the PM's clarion call of vocal for local. But taking this forward, we have with us as chair Dr. Sonal Mansingh. Padma Vibhushan Dr. Sonal Mansingh is one of India's foremost classical dancers, renowned for her mastery over Bharatanatyam and Odissi. A legendary cultural icon, she has also served as a member of the Rajya Sabha and was nominated by PM Modi as one of the Navaratnas for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Dr. Mansingh is an honorable trustee of the IGNCA and has authored numerous articles and books on dance and Indian culture in leading national and international publications. Her illustrious career has been recognized with some of the country's highest honors: the Padma Bhushan in '92, Padma Vibhushan in 2003, the Sangeet Natak Academy Fellowship Academy Ratna in 2018, awarded for her outstanding contribution to the performing arts. We are privileged to have you, ma'am, with us today. We have with us Dr. Sandhya Purecha, India's foremost performing academician, who is an acclaimed dancer, choreographer, author, and scholar, whose vision and artistry have profoundly enriched Indian classical dance. The senior-most disciple of late Guru Acharya Parvati Kumar, she trained under the traditional Guru Shishya Parampara. Her innovative synthesis of Shastra and Sampradaya or practice, rooted in rigorous classical technique, yet open to modern expression, has been hailed as pioneering. A dedicated researcher, she has earned her doctorate in Natyashastra with a specialization in theory and practice of the Angika Abhinaya in Bharatanatyam. She presently is the chairperson of Sangeet Natak Academy. We are delighted to have you, ma'am, with us. We also have with us Sri Chittaranjan Tripathi, who is an accomplished director, writer, actor, and musician whose versatile career spans theatre, television, and films. He earned his MA in sociology from the University of Hyderabad before training at the National. Rooted in strong musical tradition inherited from his father, a Pala Gayaka, he further refined his skills under Guru Shri Bhaskar Chandra Das and achieved Sangeet Visharad in Odissi vocal from Prachin Kala Kendra, Chandigarh. His artistic journey extended internationally when he pursued musical theatre at the Guildford School of Acting in UK under Charles Wallace Fellowship. He is heading presently the prestigious National School of Drama. We are delighted to have you with us, sir, today. We have with us Dr. Sachidanand Joshi, the Honorable Member Secretary. He is the Executive and Academic Head of the Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts, New Delhi. He is a distinguished scholar of Bharatiya culture and mass communication, as well as a writer, poet, and actor. He was the founder Vice Chancellor of the Kushabhau Thackeray University of Journalism and Mass Communication, Raipur, serving 2 terms, and earlier the founder registrar of Makhanlal Chaturvedi National University of Journalism and Communication, Bhopal. Dr. Joshi has authored extensively on culture, education, and policy, contributing significantly to academic and cultural discourse. He is frequently invited to deliver lectures on diverse subjects, including arts and culture, communication, gender sensitization, research methodology, and personality development at prestigious institutions across the country. His multifaceted contributions reflect a rare blend of scholarship, creativity, and leadership in the fields of education and culture. He is the driving force behind all of us here, and we're very thankful to you, sir, for gracing the occasion. We have with us Dr. Yogesh Sharma, who is serving as an associate professor in the Kalakosh division of IGNCA. He also heads the academic unit of the IGNCA, which looks after the academic courses run by the center. A PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University, his areas of specialization include Sanskrit poetics, grammar, Bharatiya Darshan, and Pratyabhigya philosophy of Kashmir Shaivism. Beyond his numerous publications, his scholarly influence extends through several lectures broadcast on Doordarshan and Akashvani. Dr. Sharma is actively involved in a project of Department of Science and Technology, in addition to actively contributing to various academic programs and initiatives at the IGNCA. We are delighted to have you with us, Dr. Sharma. So with these words, I invite Professor Sachidanand Joshi ji to kindly come and formally open the discussion. Thank you, sir.
Namaskar to everyone. Honorable Chair Dr. Sonal Mansingh ji, Dr. Sandhya Purecha ji, Shri Chittaranjan Tripathi ji, Shri Yogesh ji, Shri Sudhir ji, and distinguished audience. It is indeed our pleasure to have this important discussion and on the sidelines of the UNESCO committee meeting. I'll very briefly introduce the subject so that we have enough time to listen to our esteemed experts. The Natyashastra attributed to Bharat Muni stands as the earliest and most authoritative treatise on Sanskrit dramatology. It systematically organized leaving virtually no aspect of drama unaddressed. While no earlier text has survived to confirm its precedence, Bharata himself acknowledges, drawing upon inherited tradition, citing the Anumavasya and Arya. And codified into this text, offering enduring guidance to poets, actors, and scholars. The Indira Gandhi National Center for the Arts takes immense pride in its pivotal contribution to safeguarding India's civilizational heritage. With scholarly rigor and curatorial dedication, the center prepared the comprehensive dossier that successfully secured the inscription of this seminal treatise, the Natyashastra, into UNESCO's prestigious Memory of the World Register in April 2025. This achievement not only affirms the enduring global relevance of Bharata's work, but also highlights IGNCA's commitment to preserving, interpreting, and transmitting a treatise of India's intangible cultural heritage to future generations. As we all are aware that this important discussion is being organized under the aegis of ensuing 20th Intergovernmental Committee of UNESCO, which discusses and finalizes the intangible cultural heritage of the humankind. We all recall with great sense of pride that just a couple of days ago, in fact on 10th itself, this committee made historic resolution of adding Deepotsava, the Deepavali, in the list of ICH, a feat which has been accomplished with dedicated efforts of the team of Ministry of Culture, led by the Secretary, Shri Vivek Agrawal, and under his dynamic and inspirational leadership, this achievement could have been possible. We all are also greatly indebted to Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, who always gave us the sutra, the mantra of Virasat Bhi and Vikas Bhi. Today, as Dr. Sonal Mansingh graces the chair of this august gathering, joined by distinguished luminaries to celebrate this occasion and engage with the theme before us, we all are honored to convene this discussion on a subject that aptly reflects the essence of the text Natyashastra, a synthesis of theory and praxis. As we all know that the Natyashastra is also a treatise which deals with the basic nuances of the stage crafts and the stage architecture. I don't think any text in the world has that kind of a detailed description of the stage craft. This panel forms a part of our continuing endeavor to foster dialogue on the enduring relevance of classical treatise within contemporary cultural and academic context. The Natyashastra, with its profound insights into drama, dance, music, continues to inspire scholars, practitioners, and educators alike. We believe that a collective exploration of its philosophical, aesthetics, and performing dimensions will enrich both academic discourse and the public understanding. I must acknowledge here the efforts of my colleagues, Professor Dr. Sudhir Lal of the Kalakosh Division, for bringing this entire exercise into reality. My heartfelt gratitude to all the honorable speakers and the distinguished audience for being here and listening to this important discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We also have prepared a 1.5-minute documentary on the inscription of the Natyashastra, and with the permission of the chair, may we play that? A video? Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Can we have the video, please? Okay.
2000 years ago, Bharat Muni composed the Natyashastra, a text that wove together drama, dance, music, and ritual into a single language of human expression. Inscribed in 2025 into UNESCO's Memory of the World Register, the Natyashastra is more than India's treasure. It is a manual of emotions, aesthetics, and storytelling that shaped civilizations. From rasa, the essence of feeling, to abhinay, the art of expression. It teaches us that performance is not entertainment alone, but a pathway to truth, empathy, and harmony. This living heritage reminds us art is the heartbeat of culture, and culture is the conscience of humanity. From manuscript to movement, from India to the world, Natya Shastra bridges time and space. It is the grammar of human imagination, the dialogue of civilized heritage. It is humanity's mirror.
Thank you. And maybe now invite Purecha ji, the chairperson of. Ma'am, you can be addressing us from there. Thank you, ma'am.
Namo Namaha, pranamas to Sonal Ben and all distinguished panelists, and good afternoon to all viewers. As a celebration of the texts and Natyashastra and Bhagavad Gita inscription at the memory of Register of UNESCO, Sangeet Natak Academy has taken the monthly series on both these treatises. There are many topics which are already discussed, like Angika Abhinay, Vachika Abhinay, etc. I would like to mention some untouched points and untouched topics. Natyashastra is a testament to ancient yet highly advanced Indian civilization. Natyashastra is far more than a manual of a drama and a dance or a music. It is a profound document that reflects the depth, sophistication, and scientific maturity of ancient Indian civilization. Every chapter demonstrates that Bharatavarsha possessed an advanced understanding of psychology, architecture, aesthetics, acoustics, social science, philosophy, ritual science thousands of years ago. The detailed knowledge of which found in Natyashastra, which are never touched, are stage architecture and acoustics, geometry and measurement systems, psychological analysis of emotions, body kinetics and physiology, musical, acoustic and rhythm mathematics, regional cultures, dialects and social anthropology, ritual science and philosophical foundation. It clearly reveals that the civilization which profound or produced this text was highly systematized, multidisciplinary, technologically insightful, and culturally refined. The precision of its concept shows that ancient India was not only a spiritually evolved, but also scientifically and artistically advanced. One of the most remarkable features of the Natyashastra is its openness for the innovations and openness towards the creation. Unlike the many perspective treatises, Bharata Muni repeatedly emphasized that art must be evolved with the society. He acknowledges three types of authorities, that is the Veda Pramana, the Adhyatma Pramana, and the Loka Pramana. The spiritual and Veda Pramanas and the Loka Pramana observation of the world. Bharata clearly states in every chapter, you can see the Loka Pramana, empirical society reality, which is most essential as a part of the Natya. Art must mirror the world, and therefore society itself becomes a guiding pramana. Most importantly, he gives explicitly permission for the creative and innovation, because people say the texts are dead gurus. They are not dead gurus. Because one of the shlok which I remember, akrutya cheshtaya chinnai jatya vigyaya vastuta swayam vitarka kartavya nrutyabhinayanam prati hastabhinayanam prati angabhinayanam prati, which says that you can create. If you don't find anything in my text, you can create by looking at the form, by looking at the movement, by looking at the symbols, by looking at the ethical traits, by looking at the kalavarta, by looking at the plot of the story of your presentation, and create your own hands, create your movements, create your vachika, whatever you want to create. So this is an extraordinary, where it transforms that Natyashastra from a closed rule book into a living, evolving Sanatan text capable of adapting to time, geography, and new artistic realities. Thus, Natya becomes all-inclusive, capable of portraying anything that exists in this world. Another, because Bharata allows this innovation based on the Loka Pramanas, and because he acknowledges the Adhyatma and Loka and Veda Pramanas, and because the work integrates ritual, philosophy, art, and social life, the Natyashastra becomes a Sanatan text, a timeless, dynamic, and ever-relevant text for India. Its vision is not limited to one era or one community. It is built up on the principle that human experience changes, so artistic expression must also evolve. That is why Indian performing arts never become stagnant. They grew through regional varieties or variations from folk to tribal tradition, from temple tradition and courtly innovations. Yet all remain within the broad framework of that Bharat envisioned. Another crucial aspect is that the Natyashastra is composed in a sutra-like style, concise, dense, and often symbolic. Such a style demands interpretations. And this is why many great thinkers like Abhinav Gupta, etc., wrote extensive commentaries on this. And this commentary simply explains, especially Abhinav Gupta's, Kashmir Shaivism, aesthetics, linguistics, psychology in the Abhinav Bharati. And it decodes Bharata's true sutras. Even today, what we need more commentaries, more Indian framework of analysis, and deeper exploration of Natya from perspective rooted in Indian aesthetic, Indian psychology, Indian philosophy, Indian anthropology and culture. And such inquiry keeps the Natyashastra alive and allow it to continue guiding this modern performing art. This was my first phase. My second phase is going to talk about the scientific and holistic dimension chapter-wise. I will not try and touch all the chapters. But the first chapter, which talks about the Vedic origin, gives the Vedic impact, social science, psychology, and more philosophy. The chapter 1, where women empowerment are mentioned by Brahma has created apsaras for the performance of women. And both women and men and women were given the equal position in drama. That was the first point. Second point, where the gods are, the same first chapter where gods are telling that we are unable to perform because we are not the Jitendriyas. It means the artists are equivalent to the Rishimunis and equivalent to these. The position of the artist was given the highest position, like a Rishi Tulya. So these are the psychological and philosophical points which that next generation needs to bring this in front from the chapters of Natyashastra. Second chapter, which talks about the construction stages and architectural sciences, where the architecture, geometry, geography, measurement science, and ritual studies are very dominantly presented. The third one, puja, rituals, and Brahminic foundations, gives us the psyche of sacredness, cultural, and anthropology. The fourth chapter, which is talking about the relation of dance with sculpture and architecture, art integration, iconography, geometry, and temple art forms. The fifth gives us the Nritya and Nritya techniques, biometics, physiology, and kinetics. Of course, the sixth chapter, which talks about the rasa, seventh is talk about the bhava, which are the psychology, emotional cognition, and neuroaesthetics. Very, very important. A person needs to understand that all these chapters talks about the real person, human's personality. I'll go further in the chapter number 8 to 13, which talks about Angik Abhinay. Now, many people saying Angik Abhinay means the body kinetics, physical fitness, or the aesthetic color science, symbolic anthropology, but it's beyond that. All the Viniyogas, one of the shlok, I will quote it, Maunam, Kala Vilambascha, Prayanam, Bhumi Darshanam, Bhrukuti, Anyamukhi Vartam, Nakaram, Shadvidam, Smrutam. See, there are 6 types of 9 to say no. So your body is, Maunam means if you keep quiet, person understand that he is trying to say no. Maunam, Kala Vilambascha, time pass. So your body language, once you know this Angika Abhinaya of the Natyashastra, you can read the person in and out. Because his sitting position, whether he is interested in looking at your program or not, you will understand by sitting posture. His hand gestures, his eyes, his movement, everything reflects your psychology. Antargata vikarasya bhaya prakatikaranam angavikshepaha. Aapke man mein, whatever is in your mind is expressed through the movement. So what is angavikshep? What is the movement? It is an external manifestation of internal feeling. That is what Angika Abhinay teaches you. Then comes the next chapters on the Sangeet, music, meter, maths. Of course, that is the mathematics, Ayurveda, and of A, A, E, E, K, K, G, G. How to pronounce? The people don't know this. And this is where people, various therapies are developed through Natyashastra. The scientific therapies I'm talking about. Because our Shirobhedas are very good for spondylitis, our Drushti Bodhas are very good for the eyeball activities. Then comes is the Gati, chapter number, types of plays, social anthropology, then grammar of language, poetics, linguistic, and many, many, many other dance choreography, instrumental music, material science, auditory psychology, etc. are also part of this. Instead of going into the depth of each chapter, what I feel is this monumental text is not only the foundation of Indian performing art, but also a profound civilization and philosophical system, Indian philosophical system, and our cultural ethos. In recent years, a growing concern has emerged regarding the accuracy and cultural sensitivity of several modern translations of Natyashastra. Many translations shared by external lenses do not fully align with the Indian tradition, practices, and worldviews. This has resulted into the distortions and misconceptions, and I was the first one a target for that. One of the striking example was Samanya Abhinay, a 22nd chapter of Natyashastra, where the description of various Sheelas, Sheela means a character, female characters, are mistranslated or misinterpreted. In some of the various, they are presented as the black spots, and women are portrayed as a marriage sambhoga vastu, or reducing them to the object of pleasure is a translation. This insinuation not only misrepresents the intent of the original text, but also project an untrue image of Indian scriptures. Further, another misconception is that Natyashastra is about rasa nishpatti or karanas. Beyond that, Natyashastra doesn't have anything. Indeed, the rasa nishpatti or a rasa theory is a jewel of the text. It's only one part of much larger universe of the knowledge but every chapter of the Natyashastra stands as an independent knowledge system. One of my Subhashit I remember, amantram aksharam nasti nasti mulanam anaushadam. Not a one word in Sanskrit treatise are not like a mantra. Ayogya purusha nasti yojakas tatra durlabha. There is not a single man who is ayogya, who is not useful, he is not useless. The one who wants to make them useful are very rare in the world. So that is why the Natyashastra is not just a Saundarya Shastra, it is a multidisciplinary codex encompassing philosophy, sociology, ritual studies, psychology, architecture, ethics, and many of the my lectures you will find that every chapter wise the scientific reason and scientific elements are produced. So what we need today is that Natyashastra needs to be essentially shared and introduced at the school and college level. So NCERT has come out with the school books, art books, where from 3rd standard to 12th standard, where Natyashastra has been introduced because I'm the chairing the book, art books. We have introduced it from the 3rd standard onwards, Natyashastra and all other texts related to Indian art forms. So please spread the word all over to introduce this. And in conclusion, today, as India rises on the global cultural stage, reclaiming and reinterpreting our classical texts becomes a collective responsibility. Natyashastra is not merely an ancient document, it is a living guide, a knowledge framework, and a testament to India's profound understanding of art and life. So let us come together towards the establishing authentic translations rooted in our own tradition, and let us educate our students about the intellectual brilliance of Bharata Muni, and let us ensure that the wisdom of Natyashastra continues to illuminate future generations. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Like a footnote, not to this lucid presentation, we have all seen the brilliant logo that is there of this IGC20.com, and I think this is an appropriate forum where this can be highlighted because we all are connoisseurs of or students of Natyashastra. The logo is derived from the Hansa Mudra, and it was designed by Joshi sir. And you see, can you focus the camera on the logo, please? The logo, yeah, this one, yeah. So the tagline reads Bhadram Pashyamakshambhi, which is a Vedic mantra. Let us all see auspiciousness, and I requested him to zoom in because these colors, these denote different continents, and the white stands for Antarctic. So this is a multi-layered logo which has been designed by Joshi sir. So you can have a round of applause for him. Thank you. And moving on, may I request Shri Chitranjan Tripathi ji to address us. Sir, sir, आप वहीं से भी बोल सकते हैं.
Namaskar to everyone, particularly all the distinguished intellectuals, gurus, It's a great honor to be a part of this discussion. So, as far as the theoretical perspective is concerned, so lot has been written and discussed, and after Sandhyaji's session, nothing is left actually. But as a practitioner, I would like to highlight few things. How the present generation can be addressed if they are so indifferent to the concept of Natyashastra because of many factors like the Western theories and perspectives and treatises and all of that. So the thing is that this particular treatise is very, very scientific to me. I have not read it from any book, so I cannot quote anyone. This is, as a practitioner, this is my personal realization that life starts with a heartbeat when we are in mother's womb. So life starts with a heartbeat. So that beat actually starts everything, and we think that this particular womb is now, it has life, and the moment we lose the heartbeat, everything is lost. So that is probably the most noticeable thing why we start with Angik. We say Angik Abhinay. So entire life is Abhinay, and it all starts with Angik. And the second is the moment we come out of mother's womb, we start yelling, crying, and all of that. So that is the first vachik of an individual. And then the baby is cleaned and some kind of cloth is tied around his body. So the first thing that starts is in the form of aharya. And then the complicated process of socialization, which is full of socio-psychological process, manipulations, corruptions, and spiritual awakening, and many elements. So that probably makes us ready for Sattvic Abhinay. So to me, if I am a human being, Bharat Muni's Natyashastra is very, very scientific. In the entire world, I don't see any perspective like this. And then if you compare this Angik, Vachik, Aharya, Sattvic with 4 ashramas, 4 ashram vyavasthas, then also you will definitely agree with me that it is deep-rooted. As a practitioner, when I was a student in National School of Drama, so those days we were taught great Natyashastra within a week's time, 45 minutes a class, and we were given practical training on Stanislavski method and all of that for months and months and months. But now when after practicing it for almost 30 years, when I look back and when I read my own treatise, I realize that actually the father of world theatre is Bharat Muni. The father of world theatre, particularly father of acting, is Bharat Muni's Natyashastra. I was on a scholarship. I was doing a course in Guildford School of Acting in Musical Theatre Department. So I used to go for different classes, and there was a great teacher who was teaching Stanislavski method. I told him, sir, I don't want to be in your class because I have already been taught that. And he was shocked that in India you also teach Stanislavski long back in 2001, in fact, 24 years back. So I said, sir, India is a great nation, and we are at par with the world as far as knowledge is concerned, because we are not conservatives. We are open-minded people. So that is the reason why we had Nalanda, because Nalanda was a university. So a society which builds a university, that means the society must have given much more emphasis on elementary education. And the entire world, that is why got attracted, and they came and they took whatever they. So I gifted him Natyashastra. I said, from my scholarship, I'm giving you this. Why don't you learn, go through the book and compare it with Stanislavski method and all of that. And it was very kind of him to come to me after 10, 12 days to admit that it's a great treatise, but we don't teach it. So now at National School of Drama, whichever institution from abroad comes for a MOU, I ask them, if your teacher comes to National School of Drama, he will be definitely teaching Meisner, Stanislavski, all of that, and we are well equipped with that. Still, we would like to invite you. You can come and, we can have a great exchange of knowledge and ideas. But if you agree, and only if you agree that you will allow us to impart knowledge on the basis of Natyashastra, then we will do a MOU. Otherwise, we don't see any cultural exchange in it. You come and you teach us Stanislavski, we go and we also teach or learn the same thing. So we are actually limiting our perspectives. So as a practitioner, I realized that it is a great treatise, and the theory of bhav, I believe that first you have to bhava to have bhava. So bhava means being the character. So Stanislavski says magic if this and that. So bhava to bhava, it is always there, it has already been there in my tradition. And the philosophy of detachment, which is very, very, it is required when we act or enact a character. So Western theory says that you have to live the character. But here in Indian method, you are an actor, abhineta, then you are performing a patra. And in that patra, you are actually preparing rasa, and you are serving the rasa to the audience. In the Western world, many times we glorify certain actors. He was so involved that he ended up in a mental asylum, because there is no sense of detachment. Because the rasa that he created, which was supposed to be served to the public, he himself consumed it. सोचिए कढ़ाई पनीर बना, कढ़ाई पनीर खा गया, तो क्या मिलेगा? So this is the greatness of Indian Natyashastra. This is the greatness of Natyashastra, because we have a sense of detachment. It is already there in our philosophy. So we perform at the same time a third eye or fourth eye or 10th eye. I don't know how many eyes we have actually. It is not only third eye. We have multiple eyes, because we are rang tapasvis. हमारे पास बहुत सारी आंखें होती है, समाज नहीं मानती, छोड़ो उसको. क्योंकि when it was created, the artists were given, as Sandhya ma'am rightly just spoke about, right? Artists were given a very, very special space in society. Now, I don't know what happened. We are regarded as extras in mainstream society, because we are supposed to be from extracurricular, be from the world of extracurricular activities. So this is how the society has degraded. So now the society has to really wake up and look back and go for a real renaissance. Renaissance has not happened in this country. So fortunately, for the past 14, 15 years, we have, the system has tried to, shake us up to look back and realize and read and, to actually get freedom out of the illusion that, and illusion which is guided by lies of the Western world. And last but not the least, the great Natyashastra talks about teamwork. Now the entire Western world says, for the past 50 years probably, oh, theater is a result of teamwork. Bharat never spoke about one single actor. Greek theater spoke about Thespis. So the theory itself was actually very, very individualistic. But here it has been always about teamwork. Bharat said that, it is the reflection of society. Now for the past 50, 60 years, Western world is saying, oh, it is the reflection of society, and all the NSD students, they are saying, quoting Western philosophers or practitioners. And I tell them, you just go back and, search in Natyashastra, it has been. So there is nothing, no aspect is there in Natyashastra which is untouched. You talk about, therapy, theater therapy, it is there. You talk about stage management, it is there. Because any form of art is, actually it starts with management. If the director is a great manager, she'll be a great director. Because you have to manage your chaotic thoughts first. Then you have to manage many egos. Many egos. Great actor, great officer, small officer, great sponsor, small sponsor. So one has to be a very good manager. So that is why the part of management is also there. And talking about realistic play and all of that, it has already been there. Talking about participation of women, it is already there. So to sum it up, I take the pride of being an Indian, because this country is guided by such great scriptures, literature and all of that, and particularly as a student of acting, I feel proud that I am guided by the great Natyashastra. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Shri Tripathi ji. Moving on, may I request my colleague, Dr. Yogesh Sharma ji, to present his thoughts on the Natyangas.
Thank you, sir. वागर्थार्थ संपृक्तौ वागर्थ प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वंदे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ आपृतोषाद विदुषां न साधु मन्ये प्रयोग विज्ञानम बलवदपि शिक्षितानाम आत्मन्य प्रत्ययः चेतः. Respected dignitaries on the dais and all the Sahridayas. As we know, the Natyashastra is an encyclopedia of Indian art and culture. It explores the many dimensions and vertical of expression and experiential as well as experimental knowledge. It is quite relevant to discuss this in the present scenario when the whole world is moving towards mechanical modern science, where there is less scope for human emotions and sentiments. When we talk about the origin of Natya or Natya Ved, it is mentioned in Natyashastra itself that it originated to fulfill the emotional requirement of human being. It was prescribed for whole society of humans. It aimed the entertainment of lok. In this context, it is extremely relevant to discuss the Natyang. Natyang rasa bhavai avanaya dharmi vritti pravittaya siddhi swara tatha todyam ganam rangasya sangraha. So Natyang of the whole concept of Natya tradition or Natya Ved, Natyang is the conceptual framework or Natya or artistic tradition of Bharat. Natyashastra itself is a Sangraha Granth compendium which shows the interrelation and interdependence of Indian art forms. If we learn music, then we will have to have the background of poetry. We will have to have the background of Natya, Vritti, Pravritti, etc. Natyashastra is the compendium of 11 verticals of Natya. It is very difficult to translate these conceptual terms of Natyangas. A possible translation of these terms could be Ras as sentiments, Bhav states, Abhinaya representation, Dharmi practice, Vritti styles, Pravritti regional behavior, trends, Siddhi success, Swar notes, Atodya musical instruments, Gan songs, Rang stage. These elements gives us the whole conceptual understanding of Natya. Out of these 11 Ras, Bhav, Abhinay are very popular topic and have been a topic of discussion from the beginning. But meanwhile, Dharmi, Siddhi, Gan are either been misunderstood or less discussed. Now, we talk about the sentiments or rasas. So, there are 8 rasas or 9 rasas are mentioned in Natyashastra. Shringar, Hasya, Karun, Raudra, Veer, Bhayanak, Vibhatsad, Adbhut, Sangyo, Chetyashtu, Natya rasa smitaha. Shringar, as we can translate it, erotic, Hasya, comic, Karun pathetic, Raudra furious, Veer heroic, Bhayanak terrible, Vivas odious, Adbhut marvelous. And another is, which is the principal ras of the Natyashastra, of the Natya Shantras. These eight or nine are the sentiments named by Brahman itself. Now, I will tell you about the states which are mentioned, approximately 49 or 50. There are three types of states, bhavas. Dominant states, 0, 8, 8, transitory, 33, and temperamental, 8. It means total number of bhavas are mentioned in Natyashastra, 49. Now, I would like to discuss about the four kind of representation which has been already discussed, Angik Abhinay, Bachik Abhinay, or Aharya Abhinay, or Satvik Abhinay. But I would like to discuss about the two practices, as Shri Chitranjan Dasji mentioned about the realistic cinema. So it is already mentioned in Natyashastra in the context of dharmi. So there are two practices, practice of representation dharmi in dramatic performances, twofold, realistic lok dharmi and conventional natya dharmi. There are four styles: verbal bharati vritti, the grand satvati vritti, the graceful kashiki vritti, and energetic arbhati vritti. There are four local uses or pravritti: avanti, dakshinatya, odd magdi, and panchal madhyama. So natya is a two-way presentation. So it depends on the success, the success of the natya depends on the audience, spectators. So there is a concept of siddhi, which can be understood as a success. So the success of the dramatic performance is of two kinds: divine Devi Siddhi or human Manushi Siddhi. As Kalidas mentioned in the Abhigyan Shakuntalam, in the chapter 1, verse 2, Aprito Shad Vidushamne Sadhu Manye Prayog Vigyanam Balvadavi Shikshatanam Atmanya Pratyaya Chetah. Natyashastra talk about the music notes, musical notes such as Shadaj, Rishabh, etc. There are 7 musical notes are mentioned in Natyashastra. The 4 kinds of musical instruments, Tat, Avanadh, Ghan, Sushir. There are 5 kinds of dhruvas, like songs, Pravesh, Akshep, Nishkam, Prasadik, or Antar. There are 3 types of play or theatre: Vikrisht, Chaturastra, and Trayastra. So, such about the digest on drama, giving its contents, number of sutras. Now, I would like to speak about the way forward. So, in the second chapter of the Natyashastra, the theatre structure, Natya Mandap or Natya Griha, has been discussed in detail. Therefore, there is a current need to construct traditional Indian theatre structure or playhouses based on the principle of Natyashastra for the skillful performance of Indian dramas, with a beautiful arrangement of backstage, Nepathya, stage, Rangpeet, performing area, Rangshish, and Matvarni, Indra's banner, Jarjar, and auditorium, Prekshagraha. From the discussion of the dramatic genres Rupak in the Natyashastra, it is clear there was a rich tradition of different type of dramatic forms, including Natak, Prakaran, Vithi, Ihamig, Dim, Prahasan, Ank, Among these today, apart from 2 or 3, no tradition of any other dramatic form invisible. Hence, there is a need to creatively and performatively revive all these genres of dramatic forms mentioned in the Natyashastra. In the Natyashastra, sentiment and emotions are discussed very lucidly. Probably such a discussion is not seen in any text of world literature. Today, much research is being done in the field of psychology worldwide. If modern psychologists conduct research in the light of the ras and bhav mentioned in the Natyashastra, many new dimensions can be found in the field of psychology. In the process of drama, within the Natyashastra, there is a provision for the reflection of Sanskrit, Prakrit, and many regional languages and culture. Drama is not for a specific class or individual, but has an inherent arrangement for the participation of all sections of society, which is already mentioned, which has been already mentioned, which is why it has been called universal and inclusive, sarvavarnik. Therefore, even today, there is a need to manifest the multilingual and universal culture mentioned in the Natyashastra. In the end of this discussion, the importance of the Natya is seen in our tradition through the eyes of Mahakavi Kalidas, how he defines the Natya. Devanam midamamananti manayah shantam kritim chakshusam rudrened umakritim vidyati kare swange vibhaktan vidha traigunyodbhav matra lokacharitam nana rasam drishyate natyam bhinni ruchir janasya bahudapyakam samaradhanam. Sages regard this as an agreeable sacrificial feast to the eyes of gods. It has been divided in 2 different ways by Shiv in his body, which is blended with that of Uma. Here is seen the behavior of man arising from the 3 prime qualities and distinguished by various sentiments. Natya is mostly the one of amusement of people of various tastes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yogesh ji. Now we request Honorable Chair, Dr. Sonal Mansingh ji, to kindly address us. Ma'am.
मुझे देखते देखते आप मत गिरो। Namaste. I was telling Dr. Sudhir Lal that I'm nursing a swollen knee, just like the tennis elbow, there is the dancer's knee. And these are the perennial dangers. I'm delighted to be a part of this conversation. So much elucidation has already happened, because the text Natyashastra is like, as you said, Akshaya Patra. There's a never-ending search and a never-ending supply of fresh information, knowledge, and actually, I think, der aaye, durust aaye, as I said, better late than never. UNESCO thought about it, and I think UNESCO honored itself. It did not honor Natyashastra. Natyashastra has been honored since thousands of years. And again, I would remember, just now we heard our Prime Minister also is deeply involved in our Virasat, heritage, and how to share it with the world. So our Deepotsava, Deepavali, I think it's, for a better translation, it's always used as Festival of Lights. It's an inadequate translation anyway. But at this juncture, at this point, it makes so much sense. In a dark room, you light one matchstick even, not even a candle or a diya, but that little matchstick removes the darkness. And in the darkest night of the year, the Diwali night, we light earthenware diya, not candles, not electric lights. There's so much substance to that entire concept. But simply put, Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, our old. To the scholars seated here, my task is made that much easier. My subject is the relevance of Natyashastra today. And I think it's a very, very timely point to consider. I have just a few things to say. Ever since Natyashastra entered the honored World Heritage List, the Memory of the World, there have been many seminars. So much has been said already. It is true that Natyashastra is the single most comprehensive text, a compendium on multiple aspects of theater, including detailed descriptions of what all constitutes dance, that is inclusive of dance, how to construct theater specific to a theme, the making of different kinds of music instruments, and much, much more. The text is awe-inspiring. Indeed, one could apply the same adage as is widely said about our great epic, the Mahabharata. It is said, what is not in Mahabharata does not exist anywhere in the world. It is that comprehensive. And Natyashastra, I think, is absolutely at that level. I dare say this applies to Natyashastra too. In the first chapter, we are told by Bharata Muni, and this is my favorite shloka, I keep quoting everywhere, na tad jnanam, na tad shilpam, na sa vidya, na sa kala, na so yogo, na tat karma, natyasmin yanna drishyate. In the first chapter. So, my little English, actually I'm a Gujarati, and I was educated in Gujarati medium school, okay? And my mother tongue is Gujarati, we spoke Gujarati at home, and then there was Hindi, and then there was Sanskrit. English came much later, because it was not considered important in my time in Bombay. So, I just roughly translate it. There is no stream of knowledge, arts or science, arts as plastic, visual, performance arts, any branch of science, any form of yoga, hatha yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, kriya yoga, sahaja yoga, nada yoga, and jnana yoga, endless. But I added some decades ago already. I added Nritya Yoga or Natya Yoga to this list as the ultimate form of yoga. It sits at the apex of the confluence of all the arts. And when I say arts, these are the There's the art of living, the art of life, the art of knowledge, art of science. Natya Yoga, Nritya Yoga sits at the apex, at the top. Well, and I've written, usually I don't write because my memory chip is still very active. But I thought Natyashastra and then all these great scholars will be there. So I sat down and wrote something. And while writing my interpretation, I said, while humbly seeking Bharata Muni's permission to say so. And I've said it. Fortunately, we have this great tradition of intellectual freedom in this time and day of everyone claiming freedom of thought, freedom of action, freedom of speech, freedom to do whatever. This freedom has existed for times immemorial in Bharatavarsha. So, we have this great tradition of intellectual freedom by which thousands of tikas, commentaries, have been written, composed on time-honored texts like the Veda, the Upanishad, Purana, and no one can tell you you are not supposed to write. There are tikas on tikas, there are commentaries on commentaries, but we have this intellectual freedom which I think is unique in the world. This shloka establishes the widest scope of applicability by affirming that there is no karma, work, no action, translated as roughly work or action, which are not to be seen or found in the Natya, drama, dance and music in the Indian context. Question therefore now is, how is Natyashastra relevant today in this era of robots, Gen Z, even Alpha has come, I'm told, social media, technological advances, mind-blowing innovations and inventions. So, in the vortex of happenings, events, situations beyond our control, a wayward army of nagging thoughts and doubts, battling a routine of mundane tasks, one can continue to remain sane and sensitive, calm and soulful by understanding the nature and place of rasa and bhava in life. You've already heard what rasa means, what bhava means, and the rasa nishpatti, the rasaswadan, all these things are detailed. But in our normal life, in everyday life, we experience it 24/7. The only difference is the actor, the dancer, can immediately recognize what he or she is feeling and put it in the context. For others, it is just ha ha, he, yeah, okay, okay. And this is the great difference which really characterizes the students and practitioners of our time-honored performing arts. So, analysis of feelings and emotions, moods and sentiments, how, when, why, and outcome thereof. Understanding the above by studying the elaborate structure of emotions, the complexity of the interplay between the conscious and the subconscious mind, effect of environment, seasons, even geography, elements that affect us directly or indirectly, resulting in a particular mood or behavior, are the stuff our lives are made of. These were relevant yesterday, they are relevant today, and they will remain relevant tomorrow also. I personally have hugely benefited from these lessons, eventually developing the ability to switch from one character to another on stage. I'm a dancer. To allow a rainbow of varying emotions to convey a wide range of feelings, all in a few moments, and yet to remain inwardly unruffled, as our Chittaranjanji said, the distance created, that you are at once objective and subjective. But unless you maintain that distance, and then you get into situations which get out of control. I remember in the famous Ashtapadi, Yahi Madhava, Yahi Keshava, from the Gita Govinda, Radha is dejected and angry because the beloved Krishna has not kept his word. She is alone at the tryst, at the meeting place. Krishna arrives very late, that's early in the morning, with telltale signs of having been with another woman. And Radha says, go away, Krishna, Yahi Madhava, Yahi Keshava, Mavada Kaitava Vadam, etc. Now this dancer, Odissi dancer, became so emotional, she was not able to keep that distance. And audience was in stitches of laughter because she shed real tears and her artificial eyelashes came and sat on her cheeks. So it is very, I will not name her, naturally. I'll tell you later. So unless we maintain that distance and remain unruffled, it is not going to be successful, whatever we are going to present. I call it a meditative state, because you are in it and you are yet out of it. And unless one has developed that ability to meditate on stage, you are never successful. You may earn a lot of money, a lot of fame and name, but you have not really got the essence of Natya. No need, I think, for psychoanalysis. If Natyashastra is going to be taught from early on, third class, third standard, that generation which grows up and understands and takes it with them through life, there will be no need for psychologists and psychoanalysis and all that. In any case, in India, we have the catharsis, we have the collective catharsis. And I believe now there are bhajan clubs where the bhajan jamming goes on, and they all sway to the rhythm of devotional, spiritual chanting. This is all a part of this very, very beautiful discipline given to us by Natyashastra and by our tradition. So I have almost said whatever I wanted to say. Yes, a couple of points. I refer to Sandhya's point also, and I always say that unfortunately Sanskrit remains a very complex language, difficult to translate. Unfortunately, the English translations don't do justice either to Bharatanatyam Shastra, to Gita Govinda, to Veda, to Purana, to anything at all. And therefore, it is always good to teach the original Sanskrit word with all its dimensions, all the different nuances. And another thing that I was writing, that in the first chapter again, Bharata Muni sings praises of why such performances or natya is essential to the society. It says, Dukhartanam, Shokartanam, Shamartanam. People who are tired and weary who are steeped in some kind of sorrow for all this, these people. So what does the Natya do? Washing away the weariness of carrying unnecessary burden of conflicting emotions, feeling lighter and joyous therefore, in the cathartic state of melting in the heightened collective positive energy. Natyashastra offers such divine information which is culled from eonic knowledge, eonic. And we have so many eons. This Bharata Muni is in our lifetime. And there were other Bharata Munis in the past eons. So to understand the importance of what we have got today is to understand the eonic structure of time as is understood in India, and which can penetrate through thick layers of avidya, ignorance, and insensitivity to create and spread Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. All that is conveying the essence of the truth, the eternal truth, the cosmic beauty, and the cosmic Shiva, the auspiciousness of creation. And the most wonderful thing is, Natyashastra offers all the above and much more to every individual. Yeah. So in conclusion, Natyashastra offers your sacred space. Now this is, I'm quoting Joseph Campbell. Your sacred space where you can find yourself again. It's a very deep truth, and Natyashastra offers us exactly. And therefore, I thank UNESCO that they have thought about Natyashastra, put it on the world map, and the legacy of Bharat's great culture, civilizational truths, traditions are now in the world. By doing so, UNESCO has honored itself. I said so. May the divine dancer, Sri Nataraja Shiva, continue the whirl of creation and dissolution in which we all are the whirling subatomic particles, and therefore a part of them. Vande Mataram. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. As we are drawing to a close, may we request the panelists to just give us 1 minute of their thoughts as maybe probable takeaways. So we begin with you, sir.
So we were discussing about the contemporary relevance of Natyashastra, and as a drama practitioner, I can only submit that Natyashastra does not only teach you aesthetics and dramatology, but it also teaches you some very relevant subjects of modern management, like communication. Natyashastra tells you how there can be a multi-dimensional communication. It is not only the two-way communication. Natya is multi-dimensional communication, so Natyashastra teaches us that. It also teaches us the communication techniques. It also teaches us the team building and team management. It also teaches us how a task can be performed in a given time with a tight framework of task. It also teaches us crisis management. It also teaches us spontaneity. It also teaches us the presence of mind. So there are so many things which we can learn from Natyashastra, which are quite relevant for the modern days management. And as Sonalji has said, it is not only relevant for Gen Z, but also relevant for Gen Alpha and Beta and Gamma and blah, blah, blah. So that is why it is all-time, contemporary, relevant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sandhya ji.
Based on this body personality development, in conclusion, I firmly believe that both theoreticians and the practitioners must come together to engage in a deeper dialogue on the Natyashastra, a pioneering text which is known as a Panchama Veda, and it is equally important that we align our understanding and pedagogy with the vision of the national education policy, which emphasizes the rootedness in Indian knowledge system. And lastly, ultimately the true knowledge is realized through this Natya, for performance is not merely an art, it is a pathway to awareness, refinement and cultural continuity.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Chitranjan ji, may we have you, please?
Chalo.
Wait.
नहीं, ये-
One liner.
आप बोलिए, madam last.
So,
Line बोलिए, message.
there is nothing new in other treatise or in any other theory that is not there in Natyashastra. So, as Joshi sir said, Gen Z, Alpha, Beta, Gamma or Sare Gamma, so any generation, they should have the, they should mentally be prepared to look back and go through it at least once
Yes,
before
absolutely.
taking it as a treatise which seems to be alien. It is not. Thank you.
Yogesh ji, thank you.
As Natyashastra defines Natya, Natyam Bhavanu Kirtanam, so Natya is the most democratic, inclusive and two-way presentation, because the success of the Natya depends on the spectators. As Kalidas says in Abhigyan Shakuntalam, as I have already mentioned, Apratoshad vidusham sadhu manye prayog vigyanam balvatapi shikshatanam atmanya pratyaya chetah. Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Ma'am.
Yeah. I'm a very good student and I love to listen and absorb. I'm a practitioner, not a scholar at all. And whatever I have said and I have been saying, they grow from my own experience, my own deliberation in mind. And therefore, it's a delightful experience to listen to all these wonderful minds gathered here. And I have gained a lot over the years. So please read Natyashastra, all of you, even in bad English translation, doesn't matter. I think we should work on good English translations. One more suggestion. We recently had this great Parayana, Dandakrama Parayana, by the young 19-year-old Mahesh Rekhe in Varanasi. You must have heard about that. He's created a world record. And past 200 years, this has not been done, 25,000 shloks, but especially the 2,000 shloks in which he did the Dandakram. It's mind-boggling, even to think of. Now, that gave me the idea to suggest that perhaps in future, you can think of both IJNC and Sangeet Natak of Natyashastra Parayana. I don't know about it. We don't know, so why don't you put it on this media and information, but also that not only confined to one place, but all over. Is it all over?
No, not.
So you people can do it all over. And another thing is, of course, that the quiz, I'm sure the quizzes are going on. So there should be quiz with attractive prizes, which will bring the young generation closer.
Ji.
ठीक है? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So as we draw to the close of this very illuminating session, ma'am, may we end with the Bharat Vakya in English. In conclusion, the Natyashastra stands as a testament to the Indian genius for synthesis. It bridges the gap between theory and praxis, between philosophy and performance, between the sacred and the secular. It teaches us that art is not a luxury, but a necessity, not a pastime, but a profound mode of knowing. As we listened to our distinguished panelists today, let us keep in mind Bharata's vision. The drama, see, just a second. Drama is the mirror of the world, the teacher of dharma, the source of joy, and the path to transcendence. May our discussion honor that vision, and may it inspire us all to carry forward the living flame of the Natyashastra into new horizons. Thank you very much for joining us.